So let's test engine. We started with the test engine. So we created a class package and test engine class package and project in Eclipse itself. And we have seen a sample application which you are going to work with the test engine. How we are going to the default annotation. The default annotation in test engine is @test. @test. So every method will starts with the @test. So there are some annotations which are used to test the functionality, based on the requirement, now. So the syntax is @test method open braces close braces. Okay, open braces close braces. Now today we'll see the remaining annotations are, the first one is @before method, @after method, before class, after class, before test, after test, data provider, before suit, after suit. So these are all the annotations. These are all the annotations which are going to use based on the functionality. So we'll see the first one, before method, after method, before class, after class, before test and after test. Now before method and after method are used if you want to repeat the same functionality for number of times and for repetitive process, then in that case we used to go for before method and after method. So this method is used for repetitive process. That is for every functionality before method executes first, then it executes the functionality, finally it executes after method. So that is for every functionality before it will start, before method will be executed. First it will execute the before method, then later on it will execute the functionality, and finally it will execute the after method. It will execute the after method. So for every functionality before method will execute, then it will execute the functionality, then it will execute the after method. So for example, if you want to log in and you want to check the inbox and you want to compose, you want to draft and you want to close the window, right? This is my scenario. In this case, @before, that is @before method. In this before method, I've been set up with login. Okay, na? Login. Then what is the next one? It will inbox. It will do the inbox. Then finally, it will close the window. That is after method. Like similarly, again, before method, again, what will happen? Again, it will log in. Again, it will go for login. Then it will check the compose. And finally, it will goes to close after method. Similarly, before method, login, then draft, and after method. That is close. So for every functionality, before login and logout will be done. Login, logout. So login, logout. So for every functionality, the before method and after method will be executed at least once. execute, finally it will execute the, so for every functionality here, note, for every functionality, the before method and after method will executes at least once for every functionality, at least once. Okay, we'll see the sample example for that. So just I'm going to use Eclipse. So here, so in this case, already yesterday we have done out. Now I'll show you sample one. Now I'm going to create a sample package. So I already created a package, SRC first session. Now I'm going to create the second package. Go to new, click on the package 2, and I'm going to mention as session 2, click finish. Under the session 2, right click on that, go to new, click on the other, select your testng class, and I mention as before and after methods. So if you want, you can select here only. If you want, you can see I'm going to select before method, after method. Now so before method, so what I'm giving a dummy example. So before method, and in that before method I'm going to use as login. Login, and after test I'm going to use priority equal to 1, and under that I'm going to use, instead of F, I'm going to use inbox. So I'm going to use system.out.println inbox, user inbox is storage full. Now under that I'm going to create, you can create any number of methods. Priority, public void compose system.out.println user successfully sent the message. Now at the rate test, I'm going to use priority equal to 3. Now under that public void something like chat. Under that system.out.println no chat messages semicolon. Now I'm going to use after method. Under the after method I'm going to use close. So what does it will happen here? First it will log in. It will check the functionality for inbox. Then it will close the window. Again, it will close the window. Similarly, it will log in. It will check the functionality for the second compose and it will close the window. Similarly, it will open the browser, login. It will check the functionality for the chat and close. So that means that for every functionality, inbox, compose and chat, the before login will be performed, after close will be performed for every functionality. Now if I save the file, now if I compile it, run as C, so run as test. So 3 tests has been passed out, right? So here I'm going to check the condition. User inbox, user successfully, no chat messages. These are the 3 methods. Got it? These are the three methods. So login. So we haven't real time. This is not an example. Just it's a dummy application, right? So automatically it shows user send messages chat. So this is now. So now in the same way, what it is happening here? What is the example is? What it is happening here? So login, inbox close, login, compose close, login, chat close, login, chat close. So this is the example for this. Now we'll see the real-time example for that example. Now see. Now we'll see my scenario is I want to open my Google page. I want to open my Google page. I want to get the title, close the window. Opening the Google page, get the URL, close. Opening the Google page, search something on the text box, close the window. So this is how I'm going to test it. Okay. Now, so in that case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new class, new testng class. Here I'm going to use before method, after method. So I want to generate the report. Already XML file is there now. So you can change the class name. That's all. So now click on finish. Right. So here I'm going to copy this @, test after this method. Okay. So before method, here in the before method, I'm going to use opening browser. So I'm going to use system dot set property of webdriver dot chrome dot driver comma d : chrome driver dot exe. After that, I'm going to use d equal to new chrome driver d dot get http : .google.com. Okay. Now after that, so here I'm going to use WebDriver D. Right. Now change to WebDriver org.openqselenium. Now similarly change to set property. Change to Chrome driver org.openqselenium. Now after that, so I want to d dot manage dot window dot maximize. So once it is maximized, now I'm going to, in the first tester, I'm going to make a title of the page. So system dot out dot println d dot get title. Okay, now I'm going to create one more method @test. So priority equal to 1. Oh, sorry, here I'm going to use priority equal to 1, and this is the priority equal to 2. Okay, na? Priority equal to 2. In this priority equal to 2, public void URL. So system dot out dot println @test priority equal to 3, public void searching. So I want to search something in the text box now. So I'll identify that d dot find element of by dot name q dot send keys manual testing. D dot find element of by dot name btnk dot click. Thread dot sleep. Once a new page is open, I want to get the title and URL of the new page. Okay. Now finally, what I need to do in the after method, I want to close the window, right? So public void close, public void close. Now under the d dot close. That's all. Save the file. Now what will happen here in this scenario? First, it will open the browser. It will maximize and it will get the title and finally close the window. Now similarly again it will open the browser. It will check the second priorities. You will get the URL of the page, close. Similarly it will open the browser. It will search a particular element from the text box. It will get the title and URL of the new page, close the window. So for every functionality, the before method and after method will be executed at least once. Opening title, what the title? Now it will open the page, close the window. So it will be the third one, manual testing search, Google search button, close. Right? See, 3 passes. So this is how we are going to see. First time it is opening the title, close. URL, close. Search an element, get the title URL of the page, close. So this is how we are going to work on before method and after method. Before method and after method for Google page. For Google page. Now we'll try to, next one is before class and after class. Even you can use the before class or after class, or instead of that you can use the priority. It's not mandatory to use before method and after method. It's not a mandatory to use the before method or after method. Similarly, it will execute it at least. See, I'm going to remove that before method. Instead of before method, I'm going to set this as before class. And the last one I'm going to set with after class. After class. Now change the class as change to after class. So before class, after class, mean that what will happen here? First it will open the browser, title, URL, search, close. That's all. So one time, just for every functionality, first it will open the before method, it will perform. It will perform all the operations. Finally, it will close the window. So this is before class and after class. Instead of using before class and after class, you can also use the priorities. It's not mandatory to use before class and after class. Okay, na? So @ before class and @ after class can be used if the operations are performed in a single class. In multiple classes, we cannot perform it. Okay. And for every functionality, @ before class will executes, and based on the functionality, the final after class will executes. It's not mandatory to be used these methods. Instead of using before class and @ after class, we can use priorities also. So example is, so @ before class, login, inbox, compose, chat, draft, New folder, close, log out after class. So result is login, inbox, compose, chat, draft, logout. That's all. Sequentially, it will execute it. So it's not necessary to be used before class and after class. So in the above example, so in this example, we already shown, just now shown what happened. Now instead of before method, we am going to use before class, and instead of after method, I'm going to use after class. Okay, now I will execute it. So what happening? What is showing error? What is error? Can anybody tell me? Cannot invoke org.webdriver find element because this is a null. Before class, priority after the title priority equal to 1, priority equal to 2, searching an element, after class closing the browser. Why it is skipping? Just can you tell me why it is skipping?
There is an internal
D equal to webdriver dot chrome dot driver, D colon chrome driver dot txt. Okay, done. Just a colon blah, 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 google.com. Maximize the window. Get the title. Get the URL to search. Get the title URL. Okay, na? So can use before class, after class. Instead of before class, after class, we can also use before test and before class and after class. We can use priorities also. So it's not mandatory to use the before class and after class. Now, before test and after test are used if the operations are performed in multiple classes. Class 1 extends class 2, class 2 extends class 3. So before test and after test is nothing but test is nothing but multiple classes. So that is before test and after test. So we can perform in 3 classes. We can perform these operations in 2 classes and we can use before test and after test, right? So we can set the before test in the first class and after test in the final class. Automatically based upon the priorities, all the methods will be executed. So initially before test will be executed, then the priorities will be executed, then finally after test will be executed in the last class. Execute in the last class itself. Now if you go with this, so I'm going to create 3 classes. Class 1, before test, click finish. Right click on that, go to new. So last class in there. Now I'm going for the first class. So I've been used before test. Just I'm giving example. System.out.println. Welcome to Selenium. So here I'm going to use I'm going to use as a priority equal to 1. Under that I'm going to use something like login, and under that I'm going to use system.out.println. So login successfully opened. Similarly, so here I'm going to use, I created only one method in this. I created only one method, and here I'm going to use priority equal to 2, priority equal to 2, and here I'm going to use login inbox. So system dot out dot println. So inbox successfully updated, and under that after test I'm going to use, in the after test I'm going to use as a close. So system dot out dot println application successfully successfully close. So these are all the methods. So there I created one before test, one method, and in the second class I created priority 2 and one method, after method. Now if you want to compile it, so that we need to call that class now. So use extends class 1. Okay na? Extends class 1. So is the class 1 is, what is your class name? So this is a class 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, so class 1. Now if I compile it, what will happen? See, in the first class, welcome to Selenium, login, and before test priority 1, priority 2, and after test. So this is how you mean, if your operations are performed in multiple classes, then we can set the before test in the first class and after test in the final class. For example, if a before test is login and after test is login, is first it will login and it will perform all the operations in all the classes, and finally after class will be executed. Finally after test will be executed. So this is the part of this part. This is called before test and after test. So this method is used if the operations are performed in multiple classes. Next, we can set before test in first class and after test in the final class. So example is class 1 @ before test. I'm going to use, for example, I'm going to use as opening. Next, @ test priority equal to 1. @ test priority equal to 2. Next, in the class 2, I'm going to use @ test. So priority equal to 3. @ test. So priority equal to 4. And @ after test close. So what is the result? First of all, it will open the login. It will check first priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, priority 2. Finally, it will execute the after test method. So this is how we are going to use before test and after test. Before test in after.